the provincial government, working to develop some of those strategies to help tackle the systemic violence against women that Patsy was talking about. She has also worked in the field, she was the director, in fact, of multiculturalism and antiracism programs in BC, again, working in partnership with organisations to identify strategies and to bring forward programs and projects that could tackle those systemic structural issues that are still so oppressive and still at the heart of so much that discrimination that women experience. She now works as an independent consultant, helping organisations be open, be inclusive, be open to the new diverse. So I think we sometimes call it the new diversity, but Canada's always been very diverse. Maybe it's the new hyper-diversity of Canada. But she's also a published writer and published poet, and she's very active in writers' associations here in BC as well. So we're very pleased to welcome Meharoona and to hear her speak and hear what she has to share with us this morning as well. So please.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me today, and happy International Women's Day. It's a privilege and honor to be here today with all of you. I have a lot of stories. I'm a storyteller, I'm a spoken word artist, and sometimes you have to put a cap on me to keep me on time. I also like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples. I'd like to thank the Coast Salish peoples for welcoming me and my family to be a part of this land and to be a part of the history and the future alongside them. I'm here to challenge us all today. I'm a woman, and the history of women is to be provocative and to make change and inspire change. So I'm going to tell everybody here, drop the political correctness. Be provocative. If you can't be provocative today, if you can't drop that political correctness today, we're not going to move forward to build a society where we all feel like we belong. So when I'm standing here in front of you, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to say what comes first to your mind. What does diversity mean to you when you see me standing here in front of you? Shut it out. I am not going to be offended. I'm just as vulnerable as you are by asking these questions. So I would appreciate your authentic, honest reaction. What do you see in terms of my diversity in front of you? Fashionable. Fashionable. There's no right or wrong answer. I heard something over here. Anything? Beautiful, thank you. Difficult? Thank you.
Color of your skin.
Yes, thanks.
Learning. Self-confidence.
Self-confidence, learning.
Mysterious in your face.
Thank you, thank you.
Wearing trousers.
Wearing trousers. Yeah. What do you think is my identity? Sorry? Muslim woman.
Muslim faith.
Muslim faith.
I just see a woman.
I know. Okay. Thank you. Do you think I have power? Why or why not?
Self-confidence, and you're wearing red.
You have the mic.
Have the mic. Yeah. Anyone else?
You have a voice that exudes us.
Okay.
You speak perfect English, and that gives you power.
Ah,
Yes.
perfect English. Interesting. Yes.
I would like to know more about your Muslim identity because I have assumptions about what it is to be a Muslim woman, and I would like to know whether those are correct or not.
Are you willing to share those assumptions?
I think that the assumptions are based on ideas that Muslim women are not allowed to have as much power as I am allowed to have. They don't have as much the assumption is they don't have as much control over the choices in their lives, whether that's being in public, completing their education, the kinds of jobs they can have, the kinds of social relations they can have, particularly mixed gender social relations.
Yeah.
And I do understand that there's a huge diversity in the Muslim community like that, but I don't know where you stand on that. So those things occur to me when you ask the question about power.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, I'm just going to do a little bit of wardrobe change. And like I said, I'm just as vulnerable as you are. This is not a strip show. I have a lot of respect for my hijab. And I've gone back and forth on whether or not I'm going to wear it and take it on as something, as part of my spiritual identity. But that's a spiritual, personal choice. It's something I am going through and working out. Still not a strip show. Okay, and I need a glass of water. Now, what do you see? What does diversity mean to you now?
We usually take assumptions, and they are, of course, wrong sometimes.
Yes. Anyone else? Can people hear me?
Yes.
You look more Western,
Yeah,
whatever that means,
yeah, whatever Western means.
and you're not drawing attention.
You look like a free woman with those clothes.
Thank you for sharing that.
More relaxed.
Beautiful.
Relaxed and
Relaxed.
integrated.
Integrated,
Sporty,
sporty.
but in some ways you look less powerful.
Oh, interesting, less powerful.
In some ways.
You don't make the statement you did in your other clothes.
Yeah,
You blend in.
blend in, lack of diversity.
Yeah.
Back there.
You look smaller.
It's because I took off my shoes. No heels. Back there.
You don't look so stand out like when you're wearing that.
Yeah. Uneducated? Interesting. Was there somebody over back there? Okay. So, I want you to, we'll come back to those comments, but I want you to hang on to that. And I want to also put these questions forward. How far have we really come with diversity? Are we truly accepting of differences? How are each of us supporting belonging? Let's reflect on that. Do we have the courage to talk about what makes us uncomfortable? Hang on to those questions. This ad came out as a result of what's going on in Quebec with the Charter of Values. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But this was an ad, excellent marketing campaign that came out of Toronto, Lake Ridge Health, that basically put out about, we don't care what's on your head, we care what's in your head. And I thought that was really, really. So, me, my story. My inspiration comes from my family, my parents, and my history. My mom and dad, they've lived in Canada, my father over 50 years. My father survived partition in 1947. Partition of India, divided to Pakistan, and he was 10 years old, and his village, himself, his family, they were forced to flee to Pakistan, from India to Pakistan. At age 10, my father saw people kill each other in the name of religion, in the name of culture. He saw communal violence and class caste discrimination. My mom was born in East Africa, in Nairobi. Her parents left India before partition. And my mom, my grandfather, my mom's father, would take in black people, hide them, because they were being killed, or violence was depicted on them when the British were there, when there was curfews. And so my grandfather would hide them so they wouldn't be killed. My mother saw racism. Fast forward, my father landed in Victoria in 1957. He hated it. He was part of the labor movement, what I call the second South Asian sort of migration of labor in the interior of British Columbia. So he hated Victoria. He then went to Golden, BC, which is in the interior, near, not too far from the Calgary-Alberta border. And my father fell in love with Golden because it reminded him of his village back home. And he often makes a joke. He says, well, you know, the Jehovah's Witnesses came by one day and they invited me to their church. And I said, Dad, don't you think they were trying to convert you? And he said, yeah, I just showed them my Quran, and I said, I have my Bible. It's okay. And he said, and I went because they were so welcoming, and plus the white women were so cute. So I was like, okay, Dad. But he loved it there. And I was born and raised in Golden. That's me in the little white dress. And then a year later, my sister was born, and we were raised there. My parents taught us to interact with everyone, with Christians, Sikhs, Hindus, because that's what they grew up with. Interact with black, brown, white people, all colors, it doesn't matter. They taught us to celebrate every special day, everyone's days, and be a part of all of those exciting things. This is my grade 1 and 2 class. That's me on the front in the very far end with a little bob haircut. My mom would always cut her hair, and we always had this bowl head kind of cut. She always dressed us in our clothes when we went to school. And my best friend is in the center a little bit with the 2 long braids, and she'd have her mom would tie them up. She would also start dressing up when she saw that I was dressed up. And that was part of our proud identity. I was age 8. And the picture on the far corner there is my sister and I went back to Golden last summer, and we took, my sister took her kids, so that's my sister and my little nephew. We took them to this particular spot. At age 8, on that spot is when I learned I was different. I was surrounded by a group of white kids who locked arms. Me and my sister were in the center of this circle. They asked our names, they asked who we were, what we were. We gave our names, and they made fun of us. They made fun of our names, and they called us Paki and Hindu. We ran home, we got away, and we asked our parents, what's a Paki, what's a Hindu? And my mom and dad told us, Bak. Bak means pure. And they also taught us the differences based on religion between Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, and what all that meant. My mom was a little bit funny. She always has these funny ways of dealing with things. I call them strategies. And she said, you know, the next time they call you a name, you call them a white monkey. And I said, there's no such thing as a white monkey, Mom. What are you talking about? You don't know, she said. I'm from Africa, and there are white monkeys, and they have white faces and pink bums. So I grew up, went to university, and because I was taught to interact, this is a picture at University of Victoria. I was part of an international club. I was a co-president of an association of international students. And so my circle was diverse. My circle included everybody. However, what I learned in that inclusion of diversity is there's all forms of discrimination. Brown guys didn't like the fact that I had black hair on my skin, or I had black hair on my arms. White guys made fun of that too, but brown guys started doing that because I wasn't fair enough. I wasn't marriage material enough. I wasn't enough. Muslims in my community were making fun of me in different ways. I wasn't Muslim enough. I didn't pray enough. I didn't fit in enough. Feminist movement. I was in women's studies. I have a master's in gender and women's studies. That's where I searched for my foremothers. My foremothers wasn't part of the curriculum. It was white women's movement, which I really appreciated and acknowledged and loved, but it didn't reflect me or my struggles. And so I expanded to global women's movements. And that's where I found my foremothers. And I found my foremother in Rosemary Brown. When I came across her, I wasn't taught any of this in school, in high school. I found out about it in university. That's like 25 years later. I found out about Aboriginal issues, colonialism, all the history of racialization. However, I found out that the movements that existed that were the social justice movement also didn't have certain things. My LGBTQ friends, my lesbian gay friends who are of color, didn't fit in with the LGBTQ white movement. They were excluded. So, we are here today with the proposed charter in Quebec. Now, that charter just fires me up, okay? Civil service, government employees won't be allowed to wear overt religious symbols at work. Niqab is the face covering. Burqa is the long robe. This is what some Muslim women wear. Hijab is what I was wearing. Turbans is what Sikh people wear, Sikh men. Kippas are what Jewish men wear on their head. Large crosses are associated with Christianity, but there's this whole debate about what is a large cross. So when we have the Charter of Quebec, right, what I am looking at is, it's not over there, it's not Quebec is over there. And it's not about the fact that those people have, that government did this. To me, that's a reflection of society. If that's happening there, it can happen here, and it has happened here in different ways. So how far have we really come with diversity? Are we truly accepting? My answer is, yes, we can be accepting. Bottom line is it comes down to fear of what is our identity. People don't know their identity. Identity is always shifting, and you become solid in that. And there's a fear of loss of power. There's a fear of loss of control. What I wear on my head or on my clothes, my body, is not a reflection of who I am or where I'm from. Many of you will not know that I have multiple sclerosis. I have MS, and I'm not in a wheelchair, thank goodness. I'm not in a situation like that. However, even if I was in a wheelchair, if I had a cane, does not identify or define who I am. At the end of the day, it's not about a piece of cloth. It's about women's choice. I am lucky and privileged that I have family who respected my choices and gave me freedom. Not everybody has that. And we have to acknowledge that in all the circles that we are in, that not every person has that. So how do we support belonging? It was mentioned earlier about conversations and dialogues. That's how we support it, through those conversations. We support it by becoming vulnerable and authentic and letting down our own guards and realizing, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Let's talk. And let's see if we can come together around something. But it's about choice and power over our own bodies. The fight that we all have to make is to retain the choice. Not all of us have this luxury, that's what we need to fight for. I'm really reflective about the whole Charter of Values because I've talked to some of my own Muslim friends. And I have some Muslim friends who have said they would like to see that government intervention. And I get shocked and I'm like, what about choice? And it's because they have come from regimes and situations where they were forced to wear the various headscarf and everything. But then I also have Muslim women who fight to wear it because they have come from situations where they were forced to take it off. So there's all kinds of diversity in those, I call them struggles of resilience, resistance. So this is my circle of friends now. Somebody from Iran, somebody from France, who's Algerian, somebody from the UK, Egypt, Holland, and China. And what brings us together is around shared values. Although I've experienced racism and discrimination and sexism from all kinds of people, at the end of the day, for me personally, I drop the labels. I don't define myself anymore as a person of color, a visible minority, a South Asian woman, or this or that, immigrant, whatever. I say I'm a human being, and I look to connect with people on a human level. And if you can connect with me at a human level, power to us. It was mentioned earlier about signing a petition. I work on moving forward on finding what those shared values are. And to me, the shared values are fighting poverty, fighting food security, fighting homelessness. Those are the shared values I come around to, and these are my friends, and that's what we all work together on, is how do we come together to fight those, to be a part of shared values, and fight for the common good, and give back to society. And last but not least, I have a short poem. My influence, my inspiration, like I said, are my family, my mom, my dad, but also people like the Dalai Lama and Rumi. The Dalai Lama has said, when you remove all labels, you are human. And so this is the last bit. I'm a spoken word artist, and I leave you with this poem. This is called I Am. The essence of all wisdom is to know the answer to who am I, by Rumi. Reopening my heart's voice is all I have to share. I call on my higher self to do my very best. Treat truth, vulnerability, me with respect, sacredness, dignity. I have something to say. There comes a time my identity is stripped. Forget who I am. Who am I? Why am I alive? Why I do what I do? What I do to make change? What I do to make a difference? There comes a time I speak truth to power. Systems of inequity knock me down, suck me dry. Change don't come easy when power, privilege dominates, overtakes, stabs me in the back. There comes a time my voice struggles to be heard from the margins. nowhere to begin. Don't have to begin anywhere. Simply speak. Someone will receive this rambling with ease. I remain standing. There comes a time my soul, body, mind consumes anger, frustration, tears, confusion, blame, illusion. I said a lot. I'm lost in a familiar sort of way. I had something to say. Thought I couldn't begin. Looks like I just did in my silent sort of way. Although I'm tired, I continue to fight. I need time to be, regain strength, breathe. I am here in your face. No fear, no disgrace. Now I know who I am. I am strong, courageous, free. I am on the verge of me. Thank you.